All right, so I'm gonna keep recording. Whether if I need to chop out parts later or whatever, it just needs to be said because I'm thinking of all these things and I know that I'll forget them. Um, I don't think I've explained well enough that it's important. It really, truly is important to me for you to understand why, in a way, I seem to be advocating for drugs in this purpose. And I would really love the chance to explain that. Because no, I am not. I mean, if they never came into my life right now, that would I wish that could happen for everybody. Okay? But here is the honest God's truth. When I am high, the stuff appears. When I'm not, because it's reacting, and when I'm not high, then it goes away. And when I go to the doctor, they don't see anything besides the little thing, and they take their sweet ass time. And I'm trying to tell them, but they won't listen because once they hear about the drugs, then all other options are out the window. And let's focus on that. And the amount of times I've been going to see a new doctor, and they will hear that first time that I say something to them, and it's usually because I need my HIV meds, and they want to get that under control. Because of course, when your viral load is high and your CD4 count's low, you're susceptible to other things. So they don't want. I get that, okay. And I put myself in that position that needs to be treated. But I also stress to them that this other problem is the problem right now. Because no matter the viral load is undetectable and CD4 counts high, and I'm sober, and I'm healthy eating and exercising and everything like that, this still exists. Okay? Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Okay? I know that it does, so therefore, when I am by myself, basically, because this is something I've always been so embarrassed by. You can't explain it away because you don't know shit about it. Except for I know what I know, and it can be verified, so now I'm verifying it. Because I have seen other stories of people, and they all match up. And, I explained symptoms to people in my life well before I ever researched it. And then when I researched it, I was like, holy shit, they're experiencing the same thing I am. Except for that was just the surface level things, like the fibers and the puffs of hair, and there were just various things that would appear, and sometimes they like a brain fog, and then it started talking about other ailments, and things would happen, and there's so much brain damage. Like when you get a cut, say a paper cut. If you get a paper cut, like almost instantly, but just very quickly, it'll almost be healed, but it's not healed. There's just like a cover now over it, and now it's kind of swelling. Okay, paper cuts don't swell on the sides. Okay, why would it, and then it becomes like a little sore. It's like a little bump of fluid, and you can imagine that with any sort of cut or it integrates into it. So now it becomes the cut. I know that makes sense, and it's some flipping crazy. Anything that I tell you, believe me, please. I have repeatedly looked at something like, on different days and different occasions, and then it all ends up coming out the same. The same things happen, the same there's certain differences because of the progression that, of this little group of whatever the fuck they are. They progress more because I didn't know they were there. So when it first started and it was high, I could corral it and keep it contained. Then I would get sober and then it would spread out under the surface. Kind of like a virus, kind of like a pathogen of some kind that if it's not contagious and it can be like a substance added to the drug, because why am I the only one? Why does nobody else around? Not that I wish this upon anybody, that's for damn sure. This is misery. Yeah, not just physically, the pain sometimes, the emotional misery. From the looks of people, from the wanting to hide out, not because you don't want to be seen in public like this, and you can't explain it to anybody. No matter what you say, the looks they give says it all. So back to the point, when I'm sober, it's spreading. It's doing in a previous video. That's what I said. It's working in the background, and that's what the real problem is, because it's working in the background on major things, not skin. This is nothing. It sucks to look at. It sucks when it's dry and crusty and it keeps tight and it fucking hurts to open your mouth. All of that sucks. But look, you saw the videos yesterday. There's no cuts on my face. What I'm doing is squeezing it, and it's eventually just shrinking. Okay, and stuff's coming out. There is no cuts on my fucking face. That red, it becomes this hard layer shell thing, and I can I don't know how to describe it, but I pinch it together with my fingernails, and it just kind of bursts out, but it's in these little granules. This is a little tiny, but now it's very soft sort of granule. Whereas before, there's many stages. Right? One of them, these little white, they look like a grain of sand. It may be a little smaller, but they're just as hard. And when I don't know how to explain it, because it doesn't happen every time. It's just one time. It's like it's their turn. They're the next man up. So they, when it's their turn, they cause an allergic reaction. And I have pictures of me in Las Vegas before I went to Los Angeles for the rehab, and then also when I was there, how it happened, and then I ended up in the hospital. Go there, they're like, "Oh, you have what did you say? You tell me I had is it herpes? What's it? Yeah, maybe it was herpes. He told me I had herpes before he ever even looked or did a test. All right, so because I was explaining to him what's going on, and the swelling in my face. The picture, he stood like I look like Sloth from the Goonies. All right, and I tried telling him and everything, and I started to show him my pain, and he said, "Okay." He walks away and tells the nurse to get a test, so he can do that. And then he prescribes me Valtrex or something like that. And when I was at the rehab, I'm like, I'm not. First of all, I don't have herpes. Not that's a big thing, because guys, it's not like. It was the fact that he just diagnosed me without even running the test. And now I'm going to start taking these meds for something that we don't even know if I have. But I'm pretty sure I don't, because I was recently tested. And the rehab place says, you've got to be med compliant or you can't be here. And he said, Okay, I know this is on a different, scale or whatever, but are you going to go to chemo if you don't have cancer? So why would I take this medicine for something I don't have? And well, then you need to. I don't. Honestly, I don't remember how the situation worked itself out because I had to end up taking the meds. Well, so I was there for like 2 more weeks or something before I was hospitalized again, and then they had to discharge me. And and this is all significant because what happens when you get sober is you actually get worse. There's no lie. I have been to the hospital, the ER, within a year and a half period from, let's just say the very beginning of August of 2023 until November of 2024. Well, the last hospital stay was in, I left in July. So let's count that, okay? So August 23, July 24. 10 ER visits, 3 hospital stays, 2 of them for 8 days and 1 for 9. 45 days at a physical rehab center, and then 30 from the first release from the hospital. Another one, National Health Foundation in downtown LA. All that happened while I was sober. Okay? And I was at the Dom in Prescott, Arizona. Getting sober, everything's fine. I chose to go there. I went there. I quit weeks before I even went. And, because just when I'm deflated. I have really begun to run low on willpower and determination and perseverance and all those good words you see on posters, because I'm fighting a battle by myself. Oh, but wait, no, I'm not. Because did you know how much strength and inspiration or strength comes because I'm inspired by Jesus and by the teachings and the way that, it's just, I'm not alone. And he might not be here physically, but it makes me think back to that moment on the bus and so many others incredibly wonderful stories. That's a true feeling of not ever being alone, because I'm sitting around here, I just got this apartment the first few months in December, and I don't know anybody out here. I haven't spoken to family in I don't know how long. I don't have anybody in the medical field, and right now, that's my life. I don't want anything else. I just want this. And whether I look like this or I look healthy, it's still going on, and it's still going on in my head. I don't want to just place it on the back burner, because then it's like I'm being complacent. I'm one of those people, if something's being done to me like that, I need to find out why. Okay, I have theories on that, and we'll get to that. But when I'm sober, or when you're sober, stuff's working in the background, and you end up with things like stroke, or you have a really bad intestinal issue, digestion issue. I already, from the stroke, this plaque buildup, and this is what the doctors are missing every time. And I try to tell them, but they don't listen to me, because I don't, again, I don't want to go into all that. Just tired of it. It's a broken freaking record, right? When I'm on my own, I discover the reasons. Is because all that white stuff, that plaque, that buildup or whatever, that it causes issues everywhere else. So why wouldn't it be? Oh, guess what? It is. It's all down my right leg. When it's cleared away, or like just reduced, oh, so much better. Do you know how long it's been? It's been again 10 years or so since I ran. Oh boy, I remember the first time I could jump more than 2 inches off the ground, and oh man, did I throw a party! Like, I haven't done that, and I remember it's been 7 years since I've been able to jump 2 inches off the ground. Okay, why I believe this is targeted is because, they take away, it takes away the things that make you you. Okay, I was a very outgoing, friendly person. I don't care who you are. I want to talk. If you need help, I'll help you. You're new here. You're lost. Whatever. Hey, whatever the case is, I will. Man, that's fun. You meet new people. In school, I was friends with the jocks. I was friends with the nerds. I was friends with everybody. I really didn't have any enemies. There's people, at your day, whatever. I didn't have any enemies. Because I knew how to treat people. And that was what gave me joy in life. That was the thing that I was being removed from. And I was shown humanity in a way that made me very cynical. Because I got to see a lot of the ugly side, in that case, that's where drugs come in. They will do that crap to you. They will turn you into a different person, a demon. Got some demon stories. Holy shit. So I don't want to. I don't want to put this blame on the lack of attention it's getting from any doctor or whoever, but I don't think that I'm in this position because of me. I do think that I am not helping my situation whatsoever, or now it's different. Look, I'm battling my. I'm not trying to sit here and say like I'm the one person in the world that can handle this and use it in the scientific way that the creators intended. No, what I'm doing is using their tools against them. Because that is the only way that I see. You have to understand, I have been doing this for 10 years. And so much of that 10 years is it because this is what I think is divine intervention. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have things along the way that allowed me to not be working. Or hey, DoorDash, Roadie, they've been great supplements. Then I get connected with the BA, and I don't want to squander that opportunity. I have the opportunity now to be able to focus on this and share my story. When you go into a doctor's office or you're having a visit with them, and they hear that way, they hear your idea as a parasite, and it's something about that fucking word. I'm telling you, like everywhere. I was making a video earlier, and as soon as I shut it off and watching YouTube, the first commercial that comes up is something about a parasite in your gut and digestion problems and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, wow, that was, I don't believe in coincidence at all. And okay, so when I can get to it because they get exposed, all this stuff, it starts flaring up and reacting, and now I can work through it because I know where to go. I don't know where to go when nothing's happening. And obviously the doctors don't either. They don't see it, so they don't think it's anything. They think it's eczema. They think it's whatever. Blood test. Do you saw the shit on the other videos? Do you really think blood test is going to reveal that there are fibers in your skin? Or that they are working somehow in the background to fuck with your organs? Yeah, the blood, because if they're not natural and they're not releasing any sort of whatever, it's not going to come through. If the stuff on my skin is not going into my body, it's not going to show up on a blood test. Okay? I tried all the sort of medications that they have for the norms. You know, NSTs and bacteria, the staph, the penicillin, like all that stuff. Okay, if it has zero effect on me, why would you keep on doing that without further knowledge of what the hell it is you're dealing with to begin? You know, I'm sorry, but is that common sense, or am I the only one who thinks that that's logical? Okay, I mean, I don't want to. This video's already at 21 minutes, you know, so I hope I have a lot of things. I'm telling you now, it will get out of order. I can't keep everything straight because as soon as I think of an incident or whatever, I'm telling it, and then all of a sudden a certain detail pops in, and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot about that, and it was important. If it was important, why didn't I tell it? There's a lot going on. Bear with me, please.